Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about, in my opinion, what the most famous zodiac sign is. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Now, the thing is, this is about, in my opinion, what sign seems to attain the highest level of fame and notoriety on average. And it's not necessarily about what zodiac sign inhabits the most famous people. Now, anyway, I'm going to start out. I'm going to talk. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about all the zodiac signs, and at the end, after I'm going to reveal what sign I think is the most famous sign and elaborate and explain why I think it is the most famous zodiac sign. Well, anyway, people, let's start out with Aries. And Aries could be a very attention-seeking, can be very fearless, have a lot of courage and fortitude, very aggressive and assertive. They don't waste any time off in initiating things. There's no procrastination is generally not in their vocabulary. However, when you're trying to attain fame and notoriety and recognition, a lot of times this takes a lot of persistence and tenacity. Aries could be very strong starters, but not always strong finishers. So for the Aries could be rather impatient and can stop something if they don't see those results very soon. So for these reasons, I don't see Aries as being the most famous zodiac sign. So the next sign I'm going to talk about is Taurus. Well, Taurus could be rather unassuming and reticent. They could be somewhat timid and passive. They're not very aggressive on average, and they're not like unlike Aries, they are not very assertive. However, Taurus is ruled by Venus, which can include the arts and which could include acting. So, for these, I mean, you could have some famous Taurus people that are actors or actresses or get some acclaim for the arts, but on average, I don't see Taurus as being the most famous zodiac sign. So let me go now to Gemini. Well, Gemini can lack that persistence and tenacity. Geminis could be very versatile and multifaceted, but the thing about it is when you're trying to attain fame, a lot of times it requires a lot of concentration of power and energy, and Gemini can often spread themselves a little bit thin. Gemini, I think, can sometimes dissipate through lack of finding that one strong purpose, and so I think for these reasons they can lack the staying power in order to attain fame. So for these reasons, I don't see Gemini as being the most famous zodiac sign. So let me talk about Cancer now. Well, Cancer can be very introverted. They could be enamored with home and domestic life, can be shy, somewhat timid. And I think for these reasons, that could preclude them from becoming that most famous zodiac sign. Many Cancers might have that potential because Cancers can have very good insight, and I think having good insight can sometimes play a role in becoming famous, knowing when to act, for example, and when to do that audition. Very good instincts, but they may not always follow up on them because Cancer is not known to be an aggressive sign. For these reasons, I don't see Cancer as being the most famous zodiac sign. So let me go to Virgo now. Well, Virgo can be very shy, not overly extroverted or gregarious. It's not a sign which Virgos to me generally don't seem like that they seek the spotlight. Their confidence is not always super exceptional. They could be very retiring, very humble and reticent. And really you have to you have to have a certain amount, I think, of more gregariousness and a little bit more aggressiveness and really feeling about what you can do and stronger feeling about what you're able to. And sometimes Virgos can be very intellectual and analytical. They could be capable of doing very strong things on a mental level. But as far as being the most famous sign, I just don't see them as being the most famous zodiac sign on average. So let me go to Libra. Well, Libra is really the thing about Libra is the thing with them. They have can have an affinity for the arts, which can include acting, because they are ruled by Venus. You could find a lot of people that have Libra prominent in their chart, like as I stated, the sun, moon, or ascendant, that could be very strongly into modeling, into being an actor or actress. And for these reasons, Libra can be right up there. But because Libra is another sign that could be very humble and self-effacing, I don't see Libra as being the most famous zodiac sign on average. So I don't see them as being that one. So let me go now to Scorpio. Well, Scorpio can be very secretive and very private and introverted, and really they really have this is the sign of all the signs that may have that strongest aversion or anathema to the spotlight, because they have that strong desire for that privacy and can be very reluctant to let others into their lives and to know that their business. And when you're in the limelight, a lot of times, what you do, a lot of the things you do become others' business that you don't necessarily want them. Things that you don't want becoming others' business almost automatically becomes others' business. So, but however, what's interesting is that you have a lot of people that have Scorpio prominent in their chart, like the sun, moon, or ascendant, seem like they're drawn to the spotlight. I think a lot of it has to do, like say in a solar or natal chart, Leo will often be on that 10th house cusp of recognition, so I think that plays a role in that. But I don't see them as being the most famous zodiac sign. So anyway, the next sign I'm going to talk about is Sagittarius. Well, Sagittarius could be vacillating, flighty, and changeable. And really, I think fame, often, and trying to attain fame and notoriety, can require a lot of single-minded purpose and concentration of energy. And Sagittarius has an abundance of exuberance and optimism. They could be very expansive. And really, if they don't, they're not discouraged that easily at all. But I don't see them as the sign that is the most famous zodiac sign. So let me go to Capricorn. Well, Capricorn is interesting. They could be very ambitious, very success-driven. The sign does correspond with the 10th house in astrology of recognition. But Capricorn could be rather introverted. They could be very quiet. They don't really, Capricorns don't seem to me to have that personality. Capricorn is a feminine sign and in suggesting introversion and privacy. So for these reasons, I don't see Capricorn as being the most famous zodiac sign. So let me go now to Aquarius. Well, Aquarius can be very group-oriented. They like to collaborate with others on projects. It's not a sign that really you think about that's standing out or really wants to stand out, even though I think Aquarius can be very magnetic, but their desire is not to really stand out because they're more about group involvement and collective efforts. Now, and I think for these reasons, that's what precludes them from being the most famous zodiac sign. So let me go to Pisces now. Well, Pisces can be very humble, passive, and retiring. They could be very introverted. Their desire for spotlight is not, I don't think they really have much desire for spotlight. The thing about it, though, what's intriguing about Pisces is that even though they seem to have, Pisces often have an aversion to being in that spotlight and don't really seem exactly enthralled with it. They seem to be unwittingly, maybe unconsciously drawn to filmography because that corresponds with Pisces, a Pisces interest. And when you're involved in filmography, that could often involve being an actor or an actress or being in or maybe figuring prominently in producing or directing a movie, for example. So anyway, I'm going to reveal and disclose the zodiac sign that I think is the most famous one. And I think, no big shocker here, people, I think it is Leo. And Leos, to me, they seem to be generally enthralled with attention getting. And really, this is a sign that seems to get it automatically. They don't often even have to really strive for it. There is something very charismatic about Leo. They have very strong stage presence. It's the sign of the performer. I see that as a sign of the performer. And really, Leos could be very flamboyant and really stand out. Now, actress Megan Fox, actor Tom Hanks, and actor Clint Eastwood all have Leo moons. And you have Major League Baseball home run king Barry Bonds and the late great NBA player Wilt Chamberlain and actor Michael McGlone all have the sun in Leo. And what's interesting is you have presidential candidate Donald Trump has a Leo ascendant at the 29 degrees, which is the full culmination of the sign. I'm not really flabbergasted or in a state of shock over that. I mean, he really has very strong, vibrant Leo energy. He is a person that really epitomizes that sign, if anyone does so. And anyway, also NBA star Stephen Curry has Leo ascendant, as does actor Al Pacino. And also renowned ex heavyweight boxing champion Muhammad Ali. No shocker here, he has Leo rising, and really no one can really doubt his self-assuredness, his confidence, or his flamboyancy. And Leos may come across to others a lot of times as arrogant, but the reality is, in most cases, I think that Leos are just supremely confident, and they're very extroverted, and they are showy. They like to be seen, and often they are seen automatically, and I think that's what gives them the upper hand in terms of being the most famous zodiac sign, at least in my opinion. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment of the most famous zodiac sign, and stay tuned next time, where I'll be continuing my astrological series, what I'm currently doing right now in my series. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.